Hello and welcome to this video tutorial on setting up Sitecore with Docker for Windows and Helix. For many developers, the Sitecore Habitat examples were the easiest way to explore Helix architecture, experiment with real modules, and quickly spin up a working Sitecore environment. However, these examples haven't been maintained in recent versions of Sitecore. The last available version was built for Sitecore 10.1 and is no longer functional. To address this gap, I refreshed Habitat style setup and updated for Sitecore 2 releases 10.3 and 10.4.1. These repositories follow the similar Sitecore Docker Helix basic company structure and now combined with scripts and tools to help you get started quickly with fewer steps. We will start with a fresh Windows installation and go through installation steps to get a working Sitecore website. Docker for Windows do require quite a lot of resources, therefore it is recommended that you have 8-core processor with 32 gigabytes of RAM and you have a Windows 11 Pro or similar operating system that supports Docker for Windows, admin permissions, and a Sitecore license file. We will start by installing Hyper-V and containers. For this, we can go to Control Panel and then go to Programs, turn Windows feature on or off, and then select Containers and Hyper-V. This will take a few minutes followed by a restart. Once we are back after the restart, we can start downloading. The first software that we need is Docker for Windows. I am going to download Docker 4.30, which is what this repository is tested with. You can find the link in my blog post and also on the GitHub repository. You should be able to use any Docker version, but this is what this repository is tested with. I will start the installation and in parallel we can download other software. I'm going to download Visual C++ redistributable. This is only needed for Tortoise Git for Windows, which I use to clone Git repositories, but if you want to use another software, you can skip this. Next, we will need to download Git for Windows, and I will also download Tortoise Git for Windows, which is a graphical user interface for Git. In most cases, you should be able to download them and also start their installation in parallel. Next, let's create a folder on C drive where we want to clone our repository. So I'm going to create a new folder called Projects. And I'm going to copy Sitecore license file into the projects folder, which is the default path being used by the scripts in the GitHub repository. Once Docker finishes installation, we will have to restart the machine once again. And in the meantime, our Tortoise Git setup is also ready to be completed. So I'm just going to click next, and then type in my name and email and press next and finish. Next, I will open link to our GitHub repository where we can download Node.js and .NET frameworks. The repository have direct links to these software, so you can just click on them, download and install. While the installation is in progress, we can go ahead, grab the link to clone's GitHub repository, go back to our folder, right click, tortoise git, and then clone. This will clone GitHub repository into our local folder. If you noticed, I installed all the softwares and then did a final restart. You can also restart as soon as Docker finishes installation, or you can restart at the end, but a restart is required. Once we are back after the restart, you can skip these surveys, and in the command prompt window you will need to press any key twice to make sure that the installation is completed. Once the installation is completed, you will need to wait for the Docker engine to start. If it does not start automatically, you can go to taskbar and then quit Docker desktop and then start it again. While the Docker engine is starting, let's open our GitHub repository again and then open Windows PowerShell as administrator. Looks like Docker engine is started. Let's switch to Windows containers by going to taskbar. Let's copy the init command from our GitHub repository, and before that, just to make sure that we have .NET installed, you can do .NET version to see the .NET installed version, and then you can run the init command. This will start the installation. You might be prompted to click yes or type Y during the process couple of times, and then the script should just continue to download and set everything up. Looks like our first attempt failed, which can happen sometimes. So you can just run the up command again. We don't need to run init. You can also run init, but up command should take care of the installation from this point forward. The error suggests that we have not installed .NET 8.0 runtime, so let's go ahead and install it. After installing .NET runtime, you can just run the up command again. Looks like the script is working this time. So once it finishes, it will automatically open the website and Sitecore CMS in your local browser. So you will see the website and also Sitecore CM. You can log in with the default admin B password. If needed, you can go back to the GitHub repository and grab the URLs that are generated by this installation script. Thank you so much for watching, and if you find this helpful, please like and share.